Entertainment.
Come rise with sunrise. Mondays are for those with a mission. We begin with a trip to France. Oui. Then it's a beginner's guide to cryptocurrency in Money Masterclass. We're off to the field for your JPL preview. Stick around, we're called to the bar in Law and Order. Then we change the pace for Bartender Week. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
The opposition spokesman on finance and the public service, Julian Robinson, held court in the House of Representatives on Thursday, presenting the alternative approach to easing the burden on Jamaicans and growing the economy. That's pretty much what the budget debate is all about. And Julian Robinson laid out some ideas, laid out the structure of a plan, he says, the next PNP administration intends to implement once it gets the keys to Jamaica House. So, how sensible are the plans laid? How cogent is the plan? And the individual parts of the plan, do they make sense when assessed against what Jamaica needs at this time? Those are the questions I'll be putting to my guests this evening, right here on Lead Story on CVM TV. Let's start the show. Back with us here on Lead Story. So we have heard from the Finance Minister, Favour Williams. Then we heard 2 days later from the opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson. I remind you that the opposition leader, Mark Golding, will have his turn at the wicket next week, Tuesday. He'll be followed by the Prime Minister on Thursday of next week, and then week after next, Tuesday, Favour Williams will return to close the budget debate. So far, we've gotten a lot to chew over from the Finance Minister when she opened the debate, and of course from the opposition spokesman when he made his contribution on Thursday. I'm turning to two gentlemen now for perspectives on what Julian Robinson said, just to see if there was anything that caught their attention, or if the whole thing caught their attention, or if the component parts of the plan can form into a composite that can do for Jamaica what Julian Robinson says is needed at this time. My first guest is the immediate past president of the MSME Alliance, Donovan Wignall, and of course the other guest is political commentator Shalman Scott. We're looking to balance the equation. We have someone looking at it from the political side, and of course someone looking at the ideas from the business, the commerce, the fiscal point of view, to see if the ideas presented are sound at all. Donovan Wignall, you are here with me. Good evening. Welcome to Lead Story. Donovan, are you hearing me?
Yes, George, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear now. All right.
Okay.
I'm very, very good. Hope you are well. From what Julian Robinson said on Thursday, what's the first thing, the thing that stands out more than everything else to you from that presentation?
Well, the fact that he's trying to address the whole matter of productivity, recognizing that in a large way, a lot of people, the narrative is about productivity, how to get the country producing more. And of course, the PNP would be saying that the country is in a recession. And of course, to produce ourselves out of the recession, there has to be policies put in place to get us producing, increasing the GDP. So that part of it, I think, made it a bit interesting. He spoke to the whole situation at energy. He spoke to financing of MSMEs, with the interest rate allocation to DBJ, etc. making it easier for MSMEs to access financing, looking at giving the MSMEs some tax breaks as far as the corporate tax is concerned. Looking at, not just the whole thing of, the corporate side, but the personal side, having
Yes.
to do with the water bills and all of that.
Yes.
But all in all, I thought he tried his best to address the whole matter of productivity.
Yes. Let me just get the initial comments from Shalman Scott before I dig a little deeper with you, Donovan. Shalman, it was an occasion for Julian Robinson to show that he is ready for the role of finance minister. We have to anticipate that he would be the one so appointed if the PNP wins the next election, given that he's been shadowing the portfolio for so long.
I'm not hearing.
You're not hearing me?
I'm not hearing you clearly. I'm hearing you speaking and also the speaker before you.
Yes.
And but when the young lady spoke with me, I was having good reception.
Yes.
I mean, making the arrangement for me to come on to this program.
So Shalman, you're live on air now, and I'm wondering if you're hearing me any better.
Now that you are talking, no, I'm hearing you better now.
Excellent. So you're live you're on live TV now, Shalman. So let me put the question to you.
Okay.
Good. So I was saying to you, Julian Robinson had the opportunity to show that he is ready for the role of finance minister if the PNP indeed forms the next government, because he's been understudying the portfolio for so long. So it stands to reason that he is the man who will be so appointed when and if the PNP get the keys to Jamaica House. Yes. Did he demonstrate in that speech that he has what it takes to do the job?
Julian Robinson doesn't have to demonstrate in any single speech that he has capability to do the job of state governance in Jamaica. Julian Robinson has been around long enough, holding various responsibilities and positions both inside of government and outside of government in opposition. And so he is one of those younger ones in the game, the political game, and what have you, our aspiration of our perfections and so on. Julian Robinson has proven over the years to be a responsible, level-headed Jamaican who has entered the political arena, and when he speaks seriously, make sure that he does his homework and come to the Jamaican people. And so I, like a number of Jamaicans, do hold a lot of expectation for Julian Robinson as one of our
Shalman, just before I go to the break, Shalman, I heard you, I note your response that Julian Robinson does not need any one speech to prove his capabilities for statesmanship. That's fine. But the question was, finance minister, which you know from your vast experience, requires a particular set of skills. So I'm asking, on the balance of what he has shown over time in his shadowing of that portfolio and what he delivered yesterday on audition, did you see a finance minister in waiting is the question.
Oh yes. I've seen him also as a prime minister rating as well. And I have no apology to single him out as one of our younger politicians who have brought integrity to the office and responsibilities that Julian has embraced and carried. And I don't know him personally very well, but I have watched him via those elements that are available to provide us with information and impressions and to form opinions. And Julian Robinson cannot be described as one of the lazy talkers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Spot on there. Nobody can disagree with that. Hold the line for me, Shalman. Stay where you are, Donovan. We're going to take a break and come right back. This is Lead Story, CVM TV.
Jamaica, it reach! Introducing the Mother's Rewards app. The same mother's food you love, now at your fingertips. Sign up easy and get a free patty. Earn points whenever you visit any select Mother's location and redeem those same points for discounts later on. Order your favorites for pickup or delivery. No long lines. Plus, spin daily to win prizes and discounts. Yes, daily chances to win. No need for say nothing more. Download the Mother's Rewards app now. Mothers, loving every bite.
Come rise with sunrise. Mondays are for those with a mission. We begin with a trip to France. Oui. Then it's a beginner's guide to cryptocurrency in Money Masterclass. We're off to the field for your JPL preview. Stick around, we're called to the bar in Law and Order. Then we change the pace for Bartender Week. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Donovan Wignell says he heard some good things in the opposition spokesman's presentation in the budget debate, which could help us out of the difficulties that many Jamaicans are experiencing, while Shalman Scott says, look, Julian Robinson sounded finance ministerial, and even more than that, also has the tools to hold the highest office in the land, that of Prime Minister. I return with both gentlemen. Donovan, let me talk about commitment number 15, I think it was, concerning the issue of banks and the idea to make banks more competitive by spreading the money that government holds on behalf of the public. Of course, there's no such thing as government funds. There is every such thing as taxpayers' funds. So the funds that government holds on behalf of the people, that Julian Robinson says is concentrated in the big two in the commercial banking market, NCB and Scotiabank. He says a PNP administration will open up a competitive process where the rest of the players in the commercial banking sector can hold chunks of these deposits. So rather than concentrating on two, the all 11 in the deposit-taking business in the commercial banking sector can have a chance to hold a stake. Does this smell right? Does it pass the sensibility test in that crucial mission to increase competitiveness in the commercial banking sector so that we can benefit from lower interest rates?
Well, in some way, shape, or form. And I personally don't think that you can intervene in a certain way in the free markets as far as the setting of interest rates, etc. are concerned. Because these institutions are businesses and they're set up to make a profit within the law. So if the law allows them to do what they're doing, then we have to change the laws. The banks have placed on the table a reduction of taxes. I think it's corporate tax, for them to look at the whole matter of interest rates. Within the context of BOJ reducing their interest rates, so the banks should commensurately reduce their interest rates as well. However, on the substantive point of spreading the government's deposits or the people's deposits within those banks across the banking sector and using that as leverage to have the banks come to the table to negotiate, probably such strategy probably can work, but I think outside of the whole thing of moral suasion, to have the banks act differently, to have any kind of behavior modification from the bank, I think it is a place where we could negotiate to give up something, which in this case the bank is asking for a reduction in the corporate tax, which I think is about $6 billion, as against the fees and interest rates, which is about $40 billion. I mean, and that's just one bank.
Yeah.
So I don't know how strong that will make the government's hand in influencing the banks to do anything differently. But I mean, it's a start.
Yeah.
It is something that we need to fix.
Yeah.
As far as the transmission system is concerned in the banking sector. But being in a free market is gonna be an uphill battle to get them to act any differently.
Speaking of hand, Donovan, you know Adam Smith, the father of, I almost said modern economics, but he wrote The Wealth of Nations so long ago it wasn't modern at the time. But here's the thing. He speaks about the invisible hand in the free market context, and of course government holding that invisible hand. But by pursuing the policy the way the opposition spokesman set out, isn't there the real danger that the government's hand becomes visible and a humbug to the operations of that free market structure?
Well, you know what, George, the government hand is always visible. In the banking sector. And I mean, it being visible, I don't know if it's a deterrent or, you know, it's a major problem.
But the potential for a distortionate impact is the danger, which is why it is best that the hand remains invisible, because you allow market forces to do what market forces ought to do rather than to be there arranging chairs in a particular order in the room, is the concept.
Yeah, I agree with you. Market forces, I mean, can be allowed to, you know, have the market settle the way it should. But at the same time, the government is also a client of the bank.
Yes.
Just like every other person in the economy. And just like any other person in the economy, the government can choose where it puts the people's money.
Yes.
And if that can be used as leverage, I don't say why not, because if it is that the BOJ governor said, okay, we reduce interest rates and we want the banks to reduce interest rates to help us to cauterize inflation, and the bank says we are holding strain because, you know, we have agreements in place, so we cannot move as fast as you want us to move. Be that as it may, truth or not, I think at the end of the day, how it works in other countries, when the Fed reduces interest rates, the banks follow suit.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not the case in Jamaica. So clearly, it has been stated as a problem, and in coming out of the mouth of none other than the governor, the Bank of Jamaica, and other people. So I think if it's identified as a problem, especially for our situation with inflation, then it's something that needs to be addressed. And if this is a way to do it, then fine, it's a start. So. Yeah. You know, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm taking liberties here. I'm up on the break. Shalman Scott, immediately after the break, I have a question to ask you about that benefit for people 65 and older who are customers of the National Water Commission. More on Lead Story after these.
Episode 7.
Next Gen Impact International Ministries. I want to start it that way then.
We have to build that bridge to serve the community, maintaining some godly principles that will shift the next generation.
This is the first time we're doing an episode where the church is actually brand new.
I can't wait.
Make we head out and see what is in store.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going to believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me I go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. We never make no record or beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
Back with us here on Lead Story on CVM TV, Donovan Wignall and Shalman Scott with me. Shalman, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Right, hear my question to you now. Poll after poll shows that the PNP is more popular than the JLP when it comes to the older voters. And it doesn't matter who does the poll, whether it's Don Anderson, Blue Dot, or whomever. So this move to say to people 65 and older that, look, where your water bill is concerned, we're going to work out a flat rate so that you keep some more of your money in your pocket, knowing that, of course, the pension dollar is not very elastic in these times. How good of a political move do you think that one is, Shalman?
I don't know that the number of elections we have had, both at the national level and at the local government level, has indicated that the Jamaican people are not up to speed with the whole business of electioneering and election strategies and all the rest of it. The results since 1944, when universal adult suffrage was declared in Jamaica, and the subsequent other results did not give the impression that the Jamaican people lack political sophistication. At the appropriate time, political party that was in power was voted out with large majorities, and at other times they have been voted in also with large majorities. A matter of fact, one is give support to the other. And so there is no need for us to be panicking if that's what some people are engaged with. There is no question that we have to face reality that a number of matters of critical importance needs to be attended to. And part of what is needed now is the unity between the two political parties, the governing party and the opposition, to help to advance and consolidate those areas in our national economy that requires our special attention.
So Shalman, that those thoughts are welcome where the overall picture is concerned. But I want to get a specific response from you on that part of the budget presentation where Julian Robbins has said to the 65 and older that the NWC will now charge them a flat rate for their water bills. So I'm asking you about the wisdom of looking to take care of a demographic that has historically showed up in polls to be more loyal to the PNP relative to the JLP.
Well, I don't know that the PNP had said that it was going to be people of X number of age who are PNP that the JLP has said that. They say that there is a problem, there is a weakness in relation to those senior citizens who have less to spend and less opportunities, including finding jobs at their age, that they are going to be assisted. I don't know that this is something that is going to be brand new around the world. Various countries at different times have sought to see how their aged people among them can be assisted, and this area has been identified as one such area. Yeah. I don't know why there is so much hue and cry.
Well, not a hue and cry. It's just to get the perspective. Because, for instance, in the UK, you reach 65 years old, they give you a bus pass so you can travel around London or whichever other metropolitan part of the UK without having to pay their bus fare, given the pressures that pensioners come under. Donovan Wignall, let me turn to you as we look to wrap up. The presentation from Julian Robbins. Now, a few times he said in his presentation that when the leader makes his presentation next Tuesday, certain things, certain other details will follow. For instance, on the issue of what they're doing for students with that EASE program and the provision of a meal, he said that transport aspect will also be fleshed out by the opposition leader. Should we take his presentation then as part of a composite that will take full form and full shape once the leader comes and makes his contribution on Tuesday next week?
I'd agree with that. I think this is the prelude. You usually save a lot for the leader. Like, I think Prime Minister Andrew Holness is going to come with some more red meat for the base, just like, the leader of the opposition. So I'm expecting them to address low-income housing, speak some more about the GCT and light bill, same thing with the water bill on Julian's side. So it's now political season. I think in some way, shape, or form, you could probably see it as a election budget. I think, a lot of items pertaining to growth are in it in both presentations. But I'm expecting that the presentations, both from the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, are going to be skewed by the fact that we are pretty much in silly season now, or election season, as some people will call it. So expect more of the same.
And let me ask you this, Donovan. Are pundits being unfair when they expect that in a budget presentation in an election year, that the opposition spokesperson or the finance minister or prime minister will announce any growth initiative that can cause growth to happen in the fiscal year being debated? Is that an unreasonable expectation?
It's not unreasonable, but I mean, you have to look at the context of the big picture. What is happening internationally? So you have to look at the macroeconomics.
Yes.
Personal economics, how it impacts each person's personal economics. The opportunities that will be presented and the threats that will be presented by what's happening internationally, and how you can address the pain points of the economy and the pain points of each individual person as they operate within the economy.
Yeah.
So, putting everything in that big bag, I think, the expectation as far as the budget is concerned to speak to growth and all of that, you probably could cut it 50-50, that you're going to hear a lot about stuff that is going to be promised to, bolster the support, to give, a lot of the feel-good stuff. But also, if it is that the concerns of the economics are ignored, or is felt by the populace that is ignored, for election purposes, then they're going to be made to pay for it in the popular opinions on the radio stations, etc.
Absolutely.
Like we are seeing happening now.
Hear you on that. Shalman Scott, another time I'm going to have to invite you and give you captive time, sir, because the youngsters need to know the political history and what the political history is likely to tell us about the future.
I am here and will participate. This is my country, and I am thankful for what my country has done to me and how I have reciprocated. I have no apology to make to anyone.
Not at all.
And whenever the time comes, I am prepared to express my views. I suspect the elections are going to be more on the third quarter of this year.
Yes.
And so there is a campaign that has started now.
Yes.
And
have
so
to go.
we are going to have intense activities.
Have to go, Shalman. Have to go. Thank you for the perspective, and we'll be calling on you. Thank you, Donovan. All the best to you. Have to break for Curtin Brown with the news at 7. That's my time.
Welcome, the Wizard of Love. I'm here to cast a spell. Enough people run into me on the road and I say, yes, they know me. And they say, Omar from the Virgos.
I used to listen to your music while I was studying for Covenant.